recording right after I do that.
Oh,
Wonderful.
no, I got it on audio.
Oh, did you? Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Of course. Oh, a trio of Spider-Man. Spider-Man. I don't. How do you pluralize Spider-Man? Spider-Man. Spider-Man. It's Pete Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Peter Spider-Man. He's a good kid. He's from Queens. Good family. Always leaving sticky shit on the walls, though. I don't know what's wrong with that kid.
He's always searching the web.
Ah.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
See, I fixed it.
I fixed it. Look, and I didn't need no one's help.
Thank you.
I downloaded it. Dalmerge fixed it. He says, I had the music just right, and it like mashed up, and you fucked it all up. So, yeah. Hey, my name is Leo. I'm the monkey behind the keyboard here. We have an awesome show scheduled for you today on the Dorkening. And as always, powerful Brandon. How's it going, my friend?
It is going very well, and I hope the same is going on for everybody else. Another fun-filled wacky Wednesday.
Wacky Wednesday. Wacky. Speaking of wacky, Steven, how's it going, bud?
Why'd you pan to me saying wacky? I'm not wacky. I'm just myself.
Just busting on you, bud.
No shit. Hello, everyone.
I don't have something funny to say, RW. That just took the wind out of my sails.
You know what? I'll be wacky, and we can use the W and RW to be wacky. So I'll be really wacky tonight.
Really wacky.
I had to put the glasses on because I noticed everyone else was wearing them, but I can't see anything, so now I have to take them off.
So if you add the R to wacky, is it wackier?
I don't know.
Or is it racky?
It depends on where you put the R, because then it would be racky.
Yeah. Racky?
Like, whoa, Scoob, he made our favorite jelly bean and pickle sandwiches.
You know what I got to say about that? Let's Scooby-Doo this shit.
Oh!
Yeah, you're all about this magic stuff, and I know some magic words that start with please.
So, before we talk about the trailer, let me just say, Marvel, in their infinite wisdom, can just have a big event just for a 2.5 minute trailer, and everyone will eat it up. They'll even crash the internet. I mean, they can do whatever they want, and people will be happy.
Okay, it's not specifically Marvel though; it's Sony.
It's Spider-Man.
All right, you want to cross hairs? It's Marvel and Sony. All right. But
I'm sure it's still Sony, like handling a lot of the promotions.
I've heard that there was a difference of opinion between Marvel and Sony on what the trailer should contain. So
I mean, they're in a joint custody battle with Spider-Man. So
no, there's no battle. Sony owns Spider-Man. Like there's no fight there. Like Sony's like, hey, we bought this, and Marvel's like, yeah, but we'd kind of like him back. And Sony's like, you can play with him if you want, but it's still mine. And Marvel's like, okay. That's
Well,
how that goes.
There was someone I know that was there, and they've been there. They were camped out in the theater at the fan event from 9 in the morning, and then they show it Pacific time.
Did they know that they were going to show this on the internet soon thereafter?
I think so. I think so. I don't know, but
I would hope so, because I mean, you wouldn't catch me for just the trailer. Is that like what they were camped out for?
Just the trailer.
That's
so
bonkers.
Yeah.
Well, haven't you? I mean, I admit I've done that in the past. Gone to a theater, gone to a showing specifically for a trailer.
Wow.
But that was back in the day before the internet. When
before the intrawebs.
Yeah. I think it was what the hell? What movie was it?
The Page Master.
It was the
super into like you really needed to see what the Page Master was going to be like.
No, it was the sucky Star Trek one. the sucky Star Trek from it's like the fifth one in the next.
No,
the motion picture.
No, Nemesis.
The vampire one, whatever it was.
What?
Insurrection?
Vampire Star Trek one?
Yeah.
I missed that fucking movie, pal. And I kind of wish I hadn't. What?
How many Romulan ales have you had, Leo?
Yeah, seriously. He only uses it for medicinal purposes.
I am Spocula.
How would Spock say blood like a vampire? Like, blood.
Yeah, Nemesis. Yeah,
Nemesis. Okay. Yeah, the one with Tom Hardy, where he's somehow supposed to be a clone of Jean-Luc Picard.
It was labeled the EW says Star Trek Nemesis is a trashy, fun vampire movie.
Yes, if only it weren't a Star Trek movie. Yes, indeed. Wow. Yeah, what a description of a not great Star Trek movie.
Yeah. But yeah, I went to see I think it was like a Will Smith movie that had a trailer for that.
Oh, okay, sure.
I don't even remember.
Men in Black 2? I don't know what no, that's too late. No, where is it? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
This is a stupid conversation anyway.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home was released. And it apparently was a big enough deal for people to camp out and get to see it in the theater. I myself just waited until it was available on the internet.
By the way, I called it in the group chat because someone posted the times of when the trailer was going to drop. It said 8:30 for us, and I called it. And I don't know who it was. Maybe.
Wait, hold on. You saying you called it after you read that it was going to come out at 8:30 on the East Coast? No, that's not calling it. That's reading comprehension.
Well, no, I'm saying I called it because Patsy, I don't know if he's shitting on me all the time or if he's ganging up on me all the time, but he's
then he's definitely doing sarcasm right.
Yeah.
No shit. He was like, I'll believe it when I see it. That's why when I posted the trailer link at 8:30, I was like, fucking called it. That was a shot at Patsy because
nice. Next time you should directly call him out. You'd be like, hey Patsy, fuck you, and then drop the link.
I'm not that type of person.
All right.
So anyway, you called it after Sony said at 8:30 we're releasing it in 24 hours.
Like, hey, we're releasing it at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. And Steve's right there, like, oh, guys, watch. They're gonna release it at 8:30. I'm telling you right now.
No, it's when people don't believe me when
we're busting on you, Steve. We're busting on you.
We're
having fun.
I believe you, Steve. I believe you in all things.
Yeah, and Patsy, you got to take everything he says with a grain of salt because like 99% of the time he's just fucking around.
Oh, he is totally busting chops. That's my boy. Yeah. that's my boy right there, son. Like he and I met and instantly like, oh, okay, yeah, no, we get it. We smell our own. Like very instant connection.
Speaking of that, smelling your own. I know we want to talk about Spider-Man.
What a wonderful segue. I can't wait to hear where it goes.
Okay, we're going to talk about Spider-Man, but did anybody watch Saturday Night Live this week?
No, I keep forgetting that it's still on.
Okay, this week's episode was hilarious. It's one of the best ones they've had in a while, but there was this segment, I think it's called Man Park. And my wife thought this was friggin' hilarious. And I find it funny because I guess I act a little bit like in the segment. So
really?
basically, it starts off with this woman coming home from work, and her husband like runs up to her like a puppy, like just spouts all this because he's been at home all cooped up.
Oh my God.
So
Uh,
the
okay,
whole thing's a commercial of basically, what do you do with your husband when he's acting like this, when he doesn't go outside? She brings him to the man park, and it's just all these men, and like two guys go up to each other. Marvel, 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 Marvel.
That's awesome. And I as soon as you started to describe it, I'm like, oh, you know what? Yeah, like I'm not that bad, but I definitely do that to Dara. Like that happens. I know that I go on for like 7 to 10 minutes too long.
I'm guilty of that
something.
too. So
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what makes it funny, is something that we do that we don't know we're doing.
Yeah, and,
like
and they're always very sweet about it. They're like, oh yeah, really? And then what happened? Oh, and what does that mean? Like, you don't even realize they're not patronizing you necessarily, but it's not until much later, like even right now, thinking about it, like, wait a minute, son of a bitch, she was just waiting for me to stop. Just tire myself out and then take a nap on the recliner. Just like my goddamn dogs.
So anyway, check out Saturday Night Live. Yeah.
All right.
It's on Hulu. You can watch it,
And apparently it's on NBC every Saturday night at 11:35 still. Who fucking knew?
Who watches stuff live anymore,
I mean, it's right there in the fucking name, but I get you. Saturday night recorded.
I was just going to say that. It just wouldn't have the like,
doesn't have that
recorded
ring.
from New York. It's Saturday night. Yeah.
Filmed in New York. It's Saturday night. All right. I guess I'll get to it Monday then. No bigs.
Oh, exactly. Okay, so Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Yep, there was a trailer. All right.
There was.
Next topic.
The internet is a buzz. I saw, Brandon, you posted a GIF.
I did.
The lizard
getting punched by no one.
Yeah, and
Sandman
punching the same area.
Yeah,
but nobody's there.
Apparently, it was a Brazilian version of the trailer, and they cut out what was supposed to be, from what I've been reading, Andrew
From
Garfield.
what I understand, Brazilians are really good at stripping things off in a way.
Andrew Garfield was supposed to take out the lizard while Tobey Maguire was supposed to go up against Sandman. So that's why you don't see them in the trailer. But what Brandon was posting was you see a reaction from the lizard.
Yeah, he's getting punched.
Yeah, so it doesn't make sense. But they want to save the suspense, but we all know.
Oh, we all know what's going to happen. But what if
he gets punched right in that aforementioned kisser by an invisible Spider-Man? That's what we know.
What if it's Miles?
I don't think it would be. That would be that'd be a hat on a hat. I mean, part of the reason why they'd be able to get away with having Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire in this movie is that they're from already well-established movie franchises.
Yeah.
Whereas Miles Morales is somebody they'd have to introduce, and that's a lot of work in an already very busy movie.
Why do you think they're
because
already
the cartoon was pretty popular, the movie?
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it would translate to the live action, especially because you're not pulling from the animated movie. You get what I'm saying? Like,
but what if he's animated in this movie?
That would never happen. I mean, maybe it's like a stinger. Maybe it's a stinger, but
do it like a Pete's Dragon type of thing.
Oh no! Only if he comes out speaking just like Elliot.
Maybe someone walks by a TV. Someone walks by a TV, and that Spider-Man's on the television.
I don't think that we're going to see Miles Morales, and that's not a knock against Miles Morales. I dig the character, and I have for a very long time. Well, yeah, just go ahead and do that, buddy. That was one of my dogs making liars of me. So with that, though, it's clearly like I think an edit that was just not cut correctly. I'm gonna murder these dogs.
When they're doing the CGI, they could have just did a CGI, take Spider-Man out, knowing it was going to be in a trailer.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you watch the American version of the trailer, right before that hit occurs, it cuts.
Yeah.
Like it seems like it was just like a split second too much, and they just for some reason missed it. They just weren't paying attention. Much to their chagrin and our enjoyment.
Yeah.
Yes, the plot thickens or thinnens.
It just gives more people to dissect the trailer and more people to analyze the trailer.
Oh yeah, and it keeps it in the discussion until the next news break.
I love how before the podcast started, I have a couple dogs. You'll never know they're here. It's a shame, and we touched base on this when we were talking to Jerry Rees, and we've talked about this same thing before. But it's a shame because I come from the 70s generation, the Nicholas.
That is a shame. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. The Nicholas Hammond Spider-Man.
I remember I watched that as a kid. That was live action Spider-Man to me.
Yeah, so it's a shame that they, and Stan Lee didn't like that. He didn't necessarily like a lot of the things from back in the day, like the Doctor Strange from the 70s or 82 or whenever that was out.
Such a good movie.
Apparently he did like the Japanese Spider-Man though.
Gotcha. And then you had, like the Trial of the Incredible Hulk or whatever, which introduced Daredevil with Rex Smith, who I thought was good. But what's a shame, and we talked about it when we were talking to Jerry about Tron, when they did Legacy, they really had an opportunity to kind of touch base more on the old Tron and kind of, embrace that. So it's a shame that, maybe they did, but it'd be nice to see Nicholas Hammond even in some kind of a cameo thing. And, the new Captain Americas, which I haven't seen with Chris Evans or whatever. It'd be nice to see Reb Brown in there somewhere just to kind of say, hey, thank you guys for doing what you did back in the 70s and 80s. Things have changed, but we want to pay homage to you a little bit and have you involved or whatever.
What about Matt Salinger?
That's the other Captain America from later on. Yeah, I never saw those. And I know there was Reb Brown and then Matt Salinger, and then there was one other.
I actually just explained the Captain America starring Reb Brown to my wife at Rhode Island Comic Con a couple weeks ago because I saw like a bootleg of Part 2, Death Too Soon. And I broke it down. I was like, oh yeah, he's actually Steve Rogers Jr. His dad was the original. But the one thing I really loved about that thing though was the fact that they had an acronym for the Super Soldier Serum in it. It wasn't just ever the Super Soldier Serum or the serum. It was called the Flag Serum, and it actually stood for Full Latent Ability Gain. And I was like, oh, that's so good. Why wouldn't Marvel Comics actually adopt that? Never. I've never seen them use it anywhere outside of that movie. It was
definitely sounds like something Gary Busey probably came up with.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Gary Busey was familiar with all kinds of things that you could shoot into yourself and make you change.
No, he has an acronym for everything.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is also true.
Yeah. But anyways, it would be nice to see, Nicholas Hammond was just at MegaFest a couple of years back or whatever, but it'd be nice to see Marvel reach out to him and say, we can't put you in as Spider-Man, but maybe we can put you in as a reporter for the Daily Bugle or something, just to
imagine if he showed up. He's like, so I'm playing Spider-Man in this, right? He'd be like, no, so far from it.
Yeah.
Well, it could be, in Superman where they put the original Jimmy Olsen as like a bartender or something.
Yeah.
Do something like that, just for the people that know, we'll get it,
Yeah. Lou Ferrigno was in the first Hulk movie or whatever, or one of them as a security guard or whatever. So they kind of, paid homage to him and so on and so forth. But it's nice to know that the people who really started it in the 70s and 80s or whatever are still appreciated for what they brought to, Marvel and DC characters back in the day.
Well, the Incredible Hulk show was also paid homage to, and we'll talk about that a little bit after as well, with the She-Hulk trailer.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So with this trailer, we see how many villains? We see Lizard,
five,
Lizard, Electro, Sandman,
Doc Ock, and Green Goblin, and possibly Hobgoblin. Possibly.
Possibly.
I just want to say I called that.
Wow. Holy flirkin' schnit, kids.
Steve's like, who invited this guy again?
Yeah, it was this
That'd be the nicest thing
Jesus
Steve's
Christ.
thinking right now. The nicest thing.
Steve's like, I hate this guy.
Yeah,
I didn't say that.
it could
Not
be
yet.
Hobgoblin, or it could honestly just be Willem Dafoe without the Green Goblin helmet on. Honestly,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've seen some leaked images of the suit without the helmet.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it could just be him without the helmet, or it could be a Hobgoblin design. Who knows? We will find out when the movie is released.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll find out.
Yeah,
It comes out when?
December 17th.
December 17th.
I'm gonna look it up.
And then we have Ghostbusters this week.
Bustin makes me feel good, guys. Yes, December 17th for Spider-Man No Way Home. That is when it was released in theaters exclusively.
Yeah. Also same week as Matrix 4.
Mm-hmm.
Which is going to be in theaters and
HBO.
HBO Max. Or HBO Max! That guy finally started his streaming service. Good for him.
I have a couple friends who are part of Connecticut Ghostbusters, and they went to the Ghostbusters Afterlife premiere in New York. And
nice.
They this was a couple days ago, and they wound up getting the Ecto Cooler High C because apparently
really?
They I guess Ecto Cooler's only releasing High C is only releasing Ecto Cooler in theaters, not in stores. Where, I don't know. They're being very cryptic about this.
Now, that's the thing. I saw the thing for Ecto Cooler, and the thing, I was very confused by the promotional like ad thing I saw, because it looked like they were it was from a tweet, and they were saying, oh, it's not going to be available for retail, but hit up High C and Ghostbusters or whatever and show the love, and you might just end up getting some Ecto Cooler sent to you,
Yeah.
And it showed the Ghostbusters Afterlife logo, and right underneath it, in theaters exclusively, and the date that it comes out. Here's the thing. I found it to be very confusing, because I couldn't tell if that meant that the Ecto Cooler was going to be in theaters exclusively alongside the movie, or if it was just branding and they were showing that Ghostbusters Afterlife is in theaters exclusively on that date. You see what I'm saying? Like, because it feels like something they would have explicitly said on top of the entire message.
So it's both, because they were sending it to people today. Dinosaur Dracula, who does food and retro food and drink reviews, like he did, like, I don't know, Ghostbusters and X-Men ravioli from the 90s.
I'm sorry, real quick. I'm sorry, like, just my brain, as soon as you said retro foods, like, my brain went to like, oh my God, he opens up like 50-year-old cans and tries them out.
He does.
Is that really? That's what he does?
Yeah,
it's
look
insane.
him up. Dinosaur Dracula. They gave him a box of Ecto Cooler. It was in a wooden box, and it was from High C. And they're giving it to people, like influencers and all that stuff. Like some people, even Dinosaur Dracula, tweeted like, thanks for the Ecto Cooler. So they're doing that. And I think AMC, if you have a Plus subscription, you can get your hands on Ecto Cooler while supplies last. That's what I read from somewhere.
Or you can just wait like 3 weeks or a month, and you can buy them on eBay for $1,500 a piece.
Why not get several then?
Jeez.
Make it worth your money.
Hold on, let's rewind. So this retro person,
Dinosaur
Dracula. Jesus, Leo. Follow the fucking thread.
Okay, so this dinosaur person,
Dinosaur Dracula.
Okay,
so Tyrannosaurus Nosferatu, whatever the fuck his name is.
Okay, so the pterodactyl bat. He
Oh my
Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Oh, warms the cockles of where my heart should
so
be.
you said he ate X-Men ravioli from the 90s.
Yes.
Did he find a can from the 90s and eat it?
Yes.
That's fucking horrendous. Like, that man has a fucking titanium gut.
No, I mean, think about it. Like canned food.
I would rather not.
No, when you watch any like post-apocalyptic movie where somebody's got food in their basement, it's been there for fucking 60 years because they stockpiled that thing waiting for the world to end. And they're like, let's pop up a can of these green beans that have been here since 1950. And they somehow they get vacuum sealed. It's like, I forgot what they're called. I don't know why I can't remember those meals that the military use.
MREs.
Thank you. MREs. Those things, like, you pop one of those open. I have a freaking pantry full of them.
Yeah, but like we're talking about instances where people absolutely need to open that stuff up to eat and live. That is most certainly not the case here. You have to go out of your way to do that, and that's fucking cuckoo banana pants.
Jeremy says this just in is as good as his McRib.
I suppose that depends on your opinion of the McRib.
Well, I think Jeremy was just McRibbing us.
Okay, so canned good has an expiration date. It's and the MREs, from what I understand, they take away like all the liquid from it, right? It's like
it depends on the MRE. But yes, MRE. If they have a drink attached to it, it's a powdered drink. You have to add water. So yes, all the liquid stuff is like there's no liquid to any of it.
Yeah,
it's all dehydrated.
Yeah.
Well,
So
the ones I have are like ravioli and lasagna and stuff. So, when COVID first hit, there was all these places giving away free food, and one of them was MREs or whatever. And so we like backed up a truck, and
the ravioli one is good. Basically, you just add water to it and it boils, and you get hot ravioli. It's
wait, it boils just by adding water? Is there a chemical reaction or?
Hold on, I shall return.
Oh, fuck. Is this turning into like an episode of Bill Nye the Science Guy?
Jeremy says MREs are dope if you got the heating packs for them.
Yes, they come with heating packs.
But if you don't, you're SOL, motherfucker. Hey, remember when we were talking about like movie stuff in Spider-Man? All right. That is an individual reduced sodium meal.
Yeah. This one's spaghetti.
A fucking Tootsie Roll for dessert?
Yeah, Tootsie Roll, a Pop-Tart. And then there's inside is this packet that is a heater that heats the food. That you break it. It's sort of like one of those glow stick, and it's what heats the package in the other package. There's a pack of crackers. There's jelly, and there's a Tootsie Roll and a Pop-Tart.
I forgot. How did we get on this subject?
Because fucking pterodactyl bat, dinosaur Dracula. All the sugar and carbs you need. Yeah, something like that, Jeremy, for sure.
So this is the thing that you heat the food with.
That's weird. I use a stove for mine.
Yeah, well, if you're out in the middle of nowhere, you can't really use a stove.
Oh, I don't plan on being in the middle of nowhere anytime soon.
Hey,
so far, everything's going according to plan.
And Justin, he didn't open it, so it's still good.
Yeah, he opened the outer plastic. So anyway, Ecto Cooler, Ghostbusters. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters is coming out this Friday.
Yep.
And it's getting some mixed reactions so far, I think. I haven't delved too deep into it because
I haven't seen any reviews because I want to see it before I read any reviews.
Yeah, same here. So I guess I'm not the guy that should really fucking start blabbing off about it. Hey guys, there are some reviews. I guess some are good and some are bad. Go do your own research on that because I'm staying as far away from it as possible. Justin Kuna says, tweet for the high C or you get none. I mean, I feel like it's probably likely that it's tweet for the high C and get none, but that's just me.
Kind of like trying to buy a PS5 from Best Buy.
Yeah. Womp, 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 womp.
At least
Sorry,
you
gang.
tried.
Yeah, E for effort.
I was this close to buying a nano TV the other day, and it wouldn't fit in the car. And I'm like, bye, see you.
A nano TV, my God,
something, yeah.
Fuck that.
The guy's like, you can't put it laying down; it'll crack the screen. And I'm like, okay, I don't really want this TV if it's that easy to damage. Like,
how am I supposed to? I'm supposed to put it in my vehicle, dude.
What the heck kind of TV is that?
I don't know. It's so
fragile.
Yeah, exactly.
Must be Italian.
I'm lucky I didn't do it because something bigger came up, and I am now doing that, as you know about, Leo.
That's what she said.
So,
no, RW has some awesome news coming up, and yeah, you're not sharing it right now, right?
No, I can. I just didn't want to. We were talking about Spider-Man, so I didn't want to segue out of here yet. So.
Well, we already enticed people.
Bro, you busted out an MRE.
It's because you were talking about stale food. What was I supposed to do?
We were talking about Ghostbusters. I didn't see you bust out Slimer. I'm just
hold
saying.
on.
Get the fuck out of here.
So
proton pack anywhere in sight.
So what is your news, RW?
Okay, so I don't know. Leo knows, but I don't know if you guys follow me that much on Facebook when I post stuff almost every night. But when I was growing up, again, won't get into the whole thing, but back in the 80s, after I had unfortunately dropped out of school, the Love Boat was on every day. And so between classes of going to get my GED, because I'd go to classes to learn the math and the English and the history and all that stuff so you can take your GE test, the Love Boat was on. So I'd watch it every day. And again, I was going through kind of a difficult time of my life because of being bullied and dropping out of school. So Love Boat was kind of my savior at that point. But the other day, I was looking at my email and it said something like Princess Cruise, Love Boat, something. And I went, what is this? And they're doing a 1 week Love Boat cruise, February 28th, I think, to like March 5th. So it's a 7-day cruise out of Los Angeles to Mexico on the same cruise that the Love Boat normally went on the show or whatever. And 5 of the original cast members are going to be on this cruise. The only one that isn't is Gavin MacLeod, who recently passed away. So they're doing a memorial because his birthday is that week that this cruise is going on. So I managed to find a way to raise enough money to get a ticket to go on this cruise. So I'm like wicked excited to be on this cruise with the Love Boat cast and be part of this, thing to honor, distribute for Gavin MacLeod or whatever. So it just all came into place. And then next Monday the following Monday the following Monday we'll have the Jill Whalen podcast, and then I'll be able to talk to her a little and go, hey, guess who's stalking you on the cruise? But I'm like so excited. I mean, it was wicked expensive, but I was blessed to meet Tracy and her family, and they're helping me, with some finances to take this cruise or whatever. So
that's cool, awesome. Man. That's really great.
It's going to be pretty awesome.
Love Boat.
See, these are actually my Doc from Love Boat glasses. So, but I can't see anything out of them.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Do you love Maine or do you love yourself?
Well, see, that's funny. You're just noticing that. So the joke is, we went to Maine, and there's a store there. Have you ever been to Yummy's candy store?
It does sound familiar.
It's like this huge candy store. Before we went in, I said to Tracy, I said, okay, you need to kind of set yourself a limit before you walk in here. And she goes, oh, I love you, and gives me a hug. And I go, no, seriously, you gotta seriously set a limit. She goes, I'm not worried. So we walk in and I see the hat and I go, oh my God, I love me, because I always have that persona of how much I love myself or whatever. So she bought me the hat, but it's supposed to say I love Maine. But anyways, she goes up to the counter and they go, that'll be $95.
Is that in Kittery?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I do know. Yes.
And she goes, okay, and hands the card, and we get out to the car and she goes, shut up. And I
Yeah,
go,
no, that's very easy to do there. Very, very easy, especially like me. Like I walk through the door and like, hey, everyone, don't worry. Our demographics showed up.
Yeah. But it's like, oh, these look good. These look good. Oh, these are only $4. These are only $2. These are only $7. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a I love Maine hat, but it's just funny because
I love it. It's great. Yeah. I'm like, ooh, he either is really into that particular state in New England or he's a wild narcissist. I'm cool with it either way.
So Justin Five Finger. So for those that don't know, Jill Whalen, she played it was Vicky on The Love Boat, right?
Vicky Stubing, yeah.
Yeah, and she also was in Airplane. She was a little girl. Yeah.
Playing the guitar and
so we're gonna have her on the 29th.
Yeah.
IV knocked out. Yeah.
Yeah. So and she's done, a bunch of other stuff. What's funny is I was looking at her IMDb, and one of the first things she did was Friends, but not the Friends we know of. There was an older show called Friends, and I'm like, ooh, whoever knew that, So, but
I get it. No, it's like when I was a kid when ER started with Mark Edwards and George Clooney and Juliana Margulies.
Yeah.
And I was very confused because I also remembered watching a show with George Clooney in it called ER on like prime time a couple years beforehand. I was like, is this the same show? Is this about a vet? Is Elliot Gould in this? Yeah. I mean, they do that stuff all the time for sure. Just recycle. Like, it didn't work the first time. Maybe this time. Just put a catchy tune at the front of it. That'll hook them in.
Yeah. But so she recently did a couple other lighthearted things. I watched the trailer on a couple of them, and they look pretty good. I just haven't gotten around to watching them yet. But she joined the cast of The Love Boat in the 3rd season, and played Gavin MacLeod's daughter up until the end of the run, and then she's been an ambassador for Princess Cruise Lines ever since, and so have most of the cast members or whatever. So. We'll have her on the 29th, and then I'll be doing that cruise in February, which I'm like, so like freaked out about. But yeah.
No, that's cool though, man. You're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
You better have a good time.
Speaking of good times,
Dynamite!
JJ Walker coming on something? What's happening here?
Okay, so speaking of retro and how the stuff we grew up with keeps on getting recycled. I read something that is coming to Netflix. We don't know the date yet, but sounds very, very awesome. They're doing a series about Blockbuster.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I saw something, but is it Randall Park?
Randall Park.
Yeah.
So Randall Park, but written by the woman who wrote Superstore, and she also did Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay.
Oh.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine gives me a bit more confidence. I've tried Superstore.
Superstore is so awesome.
Oh my God, Superstore is one of the funniest shows ever. And what's sad about that is America decided to leave, and then the show just was like, bye America.
Yeah.
Like literally.
Is this a new show, or is it coming out like in a month or 2 months?
No, it's not out yet. They just announced it that it's Randall Park, from Ant-Man and yeah. So
Fresh Off the Boat on ABC.
Yeah.
That was a funny show. That was a good one. But yeah, he played the father in that alongside Constance Wu, who was in Crazy Rich Asians.
I know who Randall Park is.
I'm explaining it for other people.
No. I only know him from the Marvel stuff.
Yeah, I
didn't see.
I figured Leo didn't know. He's like, oh, nice. But like Constance Wu from Crazy Rich Asians. She was in that show alongside Randall Park. Like that's what I knew the two of them for the most part from. Randall Park I actually was familiar with from all things a show on Adult Swim called Newsreaders.
Yeah.
It's done by David Wayne and a bunch of those other cats that did Children's Hospital. He was one of the quote reporters for the segment. One of the other people that was on it was Ray Wise, who plays his next door neighbor in Fresh Off the Boat.
Oh.
And that dude was hilarious. He plays like a Andy Rooney type character on it, just like cantankerous old man. But my God, everything he says is like the ravings of a madman. It's fucking great.
Jeremy just said I still have my Blockbuster card. I probably do too somewhere, but
I still do.
What would really be neat is there's that one Blockbuster still in existence or whatever. But wouldn't that be cool if this series comes out and then suddenly you see a resurgence of Blockbuster because of the show?
That would be something. I mean, it won't happen, but that would be something.
And when you think about Blockbuster, segue, you think about VHS, and it just so happens that I have one right here.
Yeah.
That's right. The complete Al. I just happen to have that when we're talking about Blockbuster. But for those of you who don't have a VCR, you can now pick up the DVD on Amazon.
Very cool.
And for all you people who want to spend like $150, you can pick up the authorized Al, which
I was going to say, I looked that book up after you said you spent a ridiculous amount of money on it. And then I saw the price across the board. And I was like, yeah, RW, you spent a fucking ridiculous amount of money on that. Like, I love Weird Al Yankovic. All right. And I want that book. But I will just wait until sometime where I am invited to your home and steal it. Okay.
So the price, one of the prices you saw online, I probably got it for half that because this person wanted a certain amount, and all they had was 3 pictures on eBay. They had this picture of this side, picture of this side, and then they had a picture of the book opened like this, and I could see this little bit of writing in the picture, and I'm like, there's some writing there, and the most I'm going to give you for something that's been written on is this amount, thinking they would say, yeah, go pound sand, and then it's like, pay now, and I'm like, oh shit.
Well,
but I still got it.
Whip out the Crayolas and color me tickled pink.
Yeah, but yeah, so I mean, it's in pretty good shape for being from 1985 or whatever.
Yeah,
and there's the original price.
$155 is what I found it for across the board online, and no fucking way.
Nope. So like I said, I got it for half that.
No, and that's fantastic. I
and that's still way more than I wanted to pay for something, but they are wicked rare and hard to find. And when I had this back in the day, I really wanted this, and I'm like, this thing's out of print, and I just happened to find it, and person accepted my offer, and I'm like, yeah, I have it now. So now I can sell it to Brandon for twice as much.
I feel like I just laid down the law on what I'm willing to pay or not for that book. Nope. I hope you enjoy it.
Justin, explain what you're talking about.
Leo dump button. Wait, is he trying to make you take a shit right now, Leo? Is he confusing like his keyboard controls?
No idea.
He wants you to one up the singer that did the singer that went #1 on the fan and on stage on, I think it was over the weekend.
What the someone like pissed on an audience member or some weird shit.
What the fuck? Yeah.
Anyway, any friggin' way. So
what the fuck? Fucking spammers.
What is going on?
Them.
Yeah, I keep on YouTube. Yeah. So I don't know which account they're on since we're going to a couple different ones.
That's
but
nice.
I'll have to add blocking keywords.
Great.
Yeah.
I thought he was saying, Leo, dump button. Dump this RW guy out of the podcast.
Oh, I see it now. Now I just went onto YouTube to see what you were talking about. And
oh
my.
What YouTube account?
What do you mean? Oh, the Dorkening?
The Dorkening.
Okay. Well, I'm also going to Still Token, so
yes. Well, I'm here. Top chat.
They're showing up.
No. Message deleted, but I'm
okay.
Yeah. There's still one in our chat in StreamYard.
Oh, that's marvelous.
And I may or may not have, I did acquire this, but it's the Tron Japanese release Laserdisc.
Ooh.
So if you look at the back, you can't read any of it.
You're right, because it's in a completely different language that I don't speak.
But I got this for pretty much a steal as well, because I'm a big, huge Tron fan. But I just thought it was cool to have one from Japan, and like, you know.
Oh my God, guys! I can't believe how stupid I am. I've been doing this with you for 7 months, and I only just now clicked on comments instead of our chat on next to the screen. And I'm like, oh my God, there's so many people that comment. I can't believe how dumb I am, guys. This is
oh my God, you click on comments.
Yeah. What do you I just literally said that, RW. I don't need you to explain my shit.
Thank you, Brandon.
Okay, so just wanted to get us back on track a little bit. So the Blockbuster series, like we mentioned, is going to be the writer from Superstore. What the heck? Sorry about that. We got a new Ring camera, and it's like it picks up everything. It's
Nice.
So for those that don't know, at some point, Blockbuster had a chance to buy Netflix.
Yes, they did.
Which is insane.
And they laughed them out of the room.
Yeah.
Yep.
You fools. People will never take DVDs through the mail. What are you, stupid?
Do we know what network this Blockbuster will be on?
Netflix.
So it is Netflix. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
The same network that made the documentary The Last Blockbuster.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Nice.
I bought a Never Forget shirt from that I found on eBay like earlier this year, and it's cool because it's the Blockbuster logo. It's, you know, royal blue shirt, Blockbuster logo, the tape, the yellow and everything, but instead of Blockbuster it just says Never Forget.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. I've actually worn it, but you can't always see like what I'm got on my chest here. But the thing is, it's actually a Blockbuster shirt. Like it's a Blockbuster branded shirt. And I saw that it was sold by Blockbuster, so I bought it. And then I saw the documentary, and I was like, oh, did they make that shirt? Because that's one of the things that the woman does is she makes Blockbuster shirts and sells them online. I'm pretty sure that they did, and that you can't like find them. They don't make them anymore, so I got to be extra careful with it.
Well, or you can head on to the links below and buy one of our shirts.
Yeah,
nice.
I could do that too. I guess. Yeah, head on over, gang. I mean, that's what I meant to say. Buy one of those shirts, not one of the ones I was talking about you can't get anymore anyway. Go get yourself a dope ass Be Kind Rewind shirt.
I know.
Courtesy of the Dorkening, where you rent the Empire Strikes Back, something that ends in karate, Jawas for some reason, and Kung Fu Shark Party.
Well, we couldn't, for legal reasons, didn't want to put actual movie names. So.
Except for the Empire Strikes Back.
No, if you read that,
it's subterfuge, isn't it?
Yeah, the
Emperor Strikes Back. Good stuff. You Farganizo. You trick me. You got me that time, you bastard.
So, Brandon, I would say to give Superstore another chance. As every show, the first few episodes or first season, it takes a little bit to get the momentum and the characters down. But once you get past it, sort of like Star Trek The Next Generation, hated the first season. And it wasn't until season 3 that I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good. And then went back to watch the other ones just so I could kind of know where it started. But
I love how much Picard was an asshole in the first season. Like, he was such a dick. It's so great, especially with kids. Like, straight up, I don't like children. Oh, wow.
That's probably why they got him to be Professor X as well.
Yeah.
And he's like, no children on the bridge. Actually, I'm standing on the turbo lift.
Oh my God. Real quick, talking about him being cast as Professor X, right?
Yeah.
I was online, looking at some of my geeky stuff, and I saw somebody legitimately say, oh, if they're going to have certain people play certain handicapped individuals in the Marvel universe, let's go back to Netflix. I'll use that as an example in place of what they were saying. Oh yeah, Charlie Cox is Daredevil. What a missed opportunity to cast somebody who's actually like visually impaired. And it's like, what? did you think that Patrick Stewart and James McAvoy were paralyzed when they were in the X-Men movies? Like, I'm just a little confused here. Like, it's one of the most insane things I've ever seen in my life, and they were being genuine.
Oh, wow.
They could not understand why they wouldn't hire a blind person to do all of that stuff. And, for the same reason that unfortunately they decided to not use Tom Sullivan, who was the consultant on the trial of the Incredible Hulk. It turns out his visual impairment was actually too much of an impairment to film anything safely. Who would have thought?
Right.
Sorry, I just had to say, like, it did strike me as funny though. Like, if you think that, oh man, you are in for a real surprise when you look at stuff in the X-Men movies.
Well, speaking of, like, I thought Gary Sinise was really,
yeah, right.
Like, they did such an incredible job with that I'm like, and then I saw him with legs, and I'm like, well, he made enough money on this movie that he could get legs again. That's amazing.
Magic legs. Magic legs, Gary. Yeah, it's just like, that's why it's called acting. Just putting it out there. Like, there is a call. I get it. Like, there is a call, but if there's something that like physically prevents somebody from doing something, then come on, like, you got to be a little reasonable. I do think though that it's really cool that they cast oh my god, I can't remember her name. They cast an actress who actually is disabled for Barbara Gordon in Titans. But instead of being paralyzed, a paraplegic, she's actually missing one of her legs. Yeah, and the actress actually was in a bad car accident a few years ago and ended up having to lose her leg. And it's awesome. Like, she's great in it too. She was actually at Rhode Island Comic-Con as well.
Nice.
Yeah, she walked right past my wife and I out of the elevator, and I was like, "What was that? Was that fucking Barbara Gordon?" Like, it really threw my shit off. I was like, "We were just 2 feet from Batgirl, right? Like, that just happened. All right, cool." But yeah, like that makes perfect sense, and I get it. Especially because she's very, very, she does have a prosthetic that she uses. That's one of the things that threw me off too, because she walked right by me, and I was like, wait, she wasn't, huh? Because I recognized her face, obviously. But they're clever with their scenes showing her from the past before she was in whatever accident in the show. They never really cover it. And that's fine. But if you get somebody who legitimately is going to endanger themselves and anybody else around them, then, I'm sure decisions are made that, otherwise people would not want to have to make.
Yeah. Justin, does X-Men save Marvel? I don't think Marvel needs saving. I think they're doing just fine.
Yeah.
I think
anybody out there worrying about Marvel right now? you guys on the edge of your seats?
I think the question is, going back, I don't know, about a decade and a half with X-Men for Marvel, with the recent Disney announcement, will that save the X-Men for Marvel? Then yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Marvel's definitely not hurting for money. I mean, I don't go.
No. What I'm saying, I was just trying to segue to something, but I guess it just.
No, I get where you were going. I was about to jump onto it, Steve. So no worries. No, if they're referring, I don't know if they're referring to the announcements made from Disney Day last week, where X-Men 97 was announced, an animated series based off of the X-Men 91 cartoon. I don't know if he's making reference to that or not, but it's pretty cool. They did show some designs from the new show coming up from the lead designer, and they showcased what some of the characters we're used to from the original show will look like, and there are definitely some improvements to how it looks, at least in illustration so far.
The theme is coming back, and
I'm surprised at the theme being used, because there was some pretty heavy litigation going on about that 3 or 4 years ago. There was a guy that composed the score for a television show in Eastern Europe, and it was years before X-Men, and it is a large chunk of it, not the whole thing, but a large chunk of it is very, very, very similar to what they made the X-Men animated show theme song.
Yeah, but that's so iconic. It's
Yeah.
just like when you think X-Men, that's like,
Oh
for me,
yeah.
that's the first thing I think of. RW, you had your hand up. Do you have a question?
Oh no, I don't think I
You gotta
did.
go
But
potty.
I mean, I don't think I had my hand up. But speaking of litigation, I guess, which I didn't have my hand up for anything. But do we know what's going on with the Friday the 13th thing, where this guy says he owns it and this guy says he owns it, and blah 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 blah? Do we know if that's ever been figured out?
No, we actually had somebody on a couple weeks ago, and yeah, it's still in litigation.
Wow.
Yeah, there's been considerable movement on it recently, though. So they are that much closer, closer than they've ever been, rather, to coming to a resolution.
It took them a few years, but yeah, they're
but the step that they made, it was like a quantum leap, really, for what they've been going through altogether. I'm not making a reference to the television show, guys.
Right.
Sorry, gang. Wasn't trying to go that route. No, because it has been back and forth in the courts for so long, and it's really about dividing, the ownership, trying to see who really can claim the character and title, because the original writer is saying, he was awarded it, and the whole thing was like he was hired to write it. So how does that pan out? And now it's really, it can't end up being like he's going to give up the rights. They need to come to an agreement where they're sharing it. Like that's all there really is to it. But it's gonna involve some ego checking, and that's something that's gonna have to be eased into. So, let's cross our fingers and hope for the best, but let's not hold our breath either.
Yeah, my take on it is, yes, this guy wrote Friday the 13th and touched a little bit on the fact that there was this boy named Jason Voorhees. But Jason, as we know him, doesn't really come into existence until part 3, when he actually gets the hockey mask and becomes Jason. So whoever wrote that one really is the one who created Jason as we know him. So I don't know. It is, it's going to.
Yeah, it's just weird that they awarded him the rights to that character in particular. Like, dude, that's not what your movie was at all. I mean, it was a completely different thing as it moved into the sequel and everything else after.
Yeah.
So that's for the courts at this point to decide. We'll let them sort it all out, and hopefully we end up getting a new Friday the 13th movie at some point in the near future. That's really good. That's honestly best case scenario.
Yeah, I mean, they might go, hey, you now own Friday the 13th. We're going to go make movies called Jason.
Well, they did that technically. I mean, they tried that. That's why the 10th movie was called Jason X and not Friday the 13th. And that's why, I mean, even the Final Friday, I mean, that was called, Jason Goes to Hell, the Final Friday, no Friday the 13th in it.
Right.
They've been avoiding it for a while. So,
well, you also got all those fan movies out as well, where they can't reference Friday the 13th.
There's one that literally is coming out that's making a lot of waves that has people from Friday 7 in it. So, from what I hear. So, I don't know the name of it, so don't gang up on me.
Speaking of ganging up,
what I was laughing for.
It was funny.
Speaking of ganging up, I'm joking. So I have one other Marvel thing, and it probably means nothing, but people are making a thing out of it. But Vincent D'Onofrio has tweeted that he's excited for Hawkeye.
He's like, I love those Marvel shows. I'm like, I bet you fucking do, Vinny. I bet you do.
He's an amazing Kingpin. So
and that's the thing. Like, if they do somehow manage to get him back into the MCU as Kingpin, the fact that they've announced Echo as a series, who is a character that actually originated from Daredevil, that is exciting to me, because if he comes back, then he will definitely be in that show. It is integral to the character of Echo. She's a mimic. She can copy anything she sees, but she's deaf, and she's Native American and Latina. Her name is Maya Lopez, and Kingpin's kind of like her uncle in a sense. Her father was killed, and Kingpin was good friends with him, and he kind of like takes her under his wing, provides for her schooling and all that. So she thinks of him as this like kind, loving man. And he convinces her that Daredevil killed her father. Never mind the fact that she has no idea that Daredevil was the same age as her. So how would he have killed her father when they were both like 12? It was clearly Wilson Fisk that killed him. But she shows up in the comics at first, like trying to take out Daredevil, and she studies his moves as well as like watches a bunch of other like Bruce Lee movies and shit like that. And she goes at him. And it turns out that she and Matt meet as Maya and Matt Murdock, and they hit it off and they start dating. And it's kind of cool because like she's deaf, but no one has any idea because she's such an excellent mimic, and he's blind, but not really. And then they end up becoming full-blown rivals because of Kingpin. And it's just an excellent all-around story. So I'm looking forward to them trying to tackle this in some form on Disney Plus, especially the fact that it's a series, because they can take their time with it and pace it well.
Yeah. Speaking of series, I know we touched on it a little bit, but She-Hulk, and they did a not really a tribute, but an homage to the original Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, I mean,
a couple of them.
I honestly have to say, like, that last little sting at the end, I actually did not enjoy. I did not like it.
Her saying you won't like me when I'm
dressed in the 70s esque styles, and then saying you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Like, nah, that wasn't necessary.
That's like when Batman and Robin, he goes, "Holy rusted metal, Batman."
Yeah.
A little different. Like, at least they were aware, you know.
So I watched this one YouTuber that was trying to explain that, and he said, "Oh, look at the video; it's fuzzy. It looks like it was recorded in the 70s." And they were saying, "Well, what if this is a WandaVision spinoff?"
Yeah, what? That Christ! Oh, talking about WandaVision spinoff, they're doing a fucking Agatha House of Harkness.
Yes.
Yeah, I have zero interest in that show. No interest whatsoever. I love Catherine Hahn. I honestly do. I think she's fantastic. But no, part of the everybody like went gaga over Agatha Harkness in WandaVision. They went gaga for her because they got a small amount of her in a big reveal that was a lot of fun. That is not the same thing as, hey, let's make an entire series dedicated to this character. I mean, I'm willing to eat crow if it ends up being an excellent series. Don't get me wrong. But for real, like, of all the characters in the magic world that you could have given another show to help expand it even more, why do that? Like, start off with other things. Like, you don't need to keep going back to what exactly works each time. Like, try different stuff. You can still follow within your stupid fucking formula, but put other characters out there, expand the world. Like, why not do Brother Voodoo? Why not?
Yeah.
Because he wasn't on WandaVision and didn't have like a cool fucking Monsters-esque theme song? Okay. Whose fault is that, Marvel?
Justin said Private Pile, and I'm guessing he was talking about Vincent. I think two of Vincent's best roles were Thor and Give Me Sugar. Like, I just think he nailed that. Like, that.
I actually
Men in Black.
I believe it or not, like, I actually had been exposed to Vincent D'Onofrio a little bit more before that, before I'd really been understood Full Metal Jacket, because I had seen some of it as a kid, but I was little and it was a fucking boring movie to me. I saw him in Stuart Saves His Family, based on Stuart Smalley, by Al Franken on Saturday Night Live. Yep. He plays Stuart's older brother, Donnie, and he was like really good in it. And that's when I first noticed. I'm like, oh, and when he showed up in Men in Black, I was like, hey, that's the guy from Stuart Saves His Family.
Was that before or after he played Thor?
Oh, that was after, but I didn't realize he was the same guy. Because Come on, and then I worked in a movie theater, and the movie The Cell came out, and that was definitely a movie that came out. It's so weird. Tarsem Singh is just a strange fucking guy. And not for nothing, if you look at all of his stuff, you can totally tell that he and Zack Snyder went to the same school. Like, so much of their stuff has the same kind of quality to it, especially desaturation. They like love that shit.
Justin said, and I remember this. Vincent had a Law and Order show.
Yes, Criminal Intent.
Yeah, it was
sort of
short-lived.
Sort of a neurotic kind of detective. I mean, go figure. Vincent D'Onofrio playing a fucking neurotic guy.
Yeah.
But honestly, like he's good in everything. I mean, even if you should check out Steal This Movie based on Steal This Book by Gabby Hoffman. He plays Gabby Hoffman, and it's pretty good. He just loves to act, and it's kind of cool that he goes with what he finds interesting instead of like what could be big flash bang all the time.
Yeah.
And the fact that he has become so enamored of playing the character of Wilson Fisk, I think just bodes well, because it's obvious that if they wanted him to come back, he would come back in a heartbeat.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
So earlier I talked about our my brain is mush. Our nostalgia being chewed up and refed to us.
I prefer to call it weaponized nostalgia.
Weaponized nostalgia. This looks really good. Next week we're getting 8-Bit Christmas.
Yeah, I've been seeing that pop up everywhere, and I've actually not checked out the trailer yet.
It's really. I thought it was. I know I sent it to Leo, and I know he's digging it. I'm digging it. It looks like a 80s version of Jingle All the Way.
See,
well, hopefully that bodes better than Jingle All the Way.
I'm talking about in a good way. I mean,
okay, that's good then, because I hate that fucking movie.
Yeah, it has Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh,
and yeah, essentially it's a kid that he didn't get a Nintendo for Christmas, and it's his.
It's basically a hunt for a Nintendo. So
yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Looking for the Turbo Man doll.
You be the Turbo Man. Fucking crazy.
Turtle Man.
I have an idea for a Christmas movie. All right, hold on. Tell me more. Just let me finish this next line of Coke. All right. Not before I do. So here's my idea. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad. Okay. That's what I got. Oh, all right, do it.
In the last season of, not the last season, but the next season of Letterkenny has been announced. Season 10 will be out December 26th.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anybody else watch Letterkenny besides Brandon and I?
Probably
not.
Tracy and I started watching it, and that was a while ago, and she actually mentioned starting watching it again the other day.
Okay, Leo, let's just say it together or side by side.
Yeah.
Just skip
Fart
book episode. Just skip it. All right. There's nothing worth seeing in there.
Why skip it?
It's a lousy episode.
Yeah, it's just awful. Like, I started watching the show by myself, and I got to the fart book episode, and I almost stopped watching the series at that point. Like, that's how bad it was. And I powered through. I was like, I don't know. Everything else was really making me laugh before this episode. Let's give her another shot, because it took me by surprise, the whole series. Like, I turned it on almost on a lark. I was like, okay, this popped up. Let's see what this is about. And they're just so like fucking rapid fire, quick witted. It's insane. You would think they'd be a bunch of dirt dummies, but not at all.
It's crazy. So I caught it when it was actually a YouTube show. So it started off as a YouTube show.
Yeah. So you were straight up watching Letterkenny Problems.
Just a little short set they would play. Yeah, yep. I loved it. And then when I saw it was a show, I loved the show.
So you're hanging out with your friends the other day.
I don't know how they're going to do this, but I read that they're going to do a Shoresy spinoff. I don't know how.
How? That's like fucking watching a Peanuts special and hearing that they gave a spinoff to the fucking teacher. What?
Yeah.
Like, you remember what last week when she was all like, wah, 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 and then the other teacher was like, wah, 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 and then she said, wah, wah, wah. Oh man, hilarious! The writing on that show. What?
So for you guys to understand, it's kind of like Home Improvement giving a spin-off show of The Neighbor.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Al. No, not Al.
I am
The guy you just saw from like the nose up.
Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson. Yeah.
I'm so glad, Brandon, that you went wah 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 because I thought you said that would be like having a penis spin-off, and I'm like, what?
What kind of show are you guys watching?
I've never even heard of this show.
To have your penis spin off, it'd have to be going pretty fast, right?
You're like, what, a bunch of teachers? And I'm like, teachers?
Oh shit, it spun off. Okay. Oh god, no, I'm sorry. Can you get that back? All right, thanks. Sorry, it's detachable. I apologize.
Oh, peanuts. Got
Peanuts, yeah. So I'm sorry, Charlie Brown. Jeez.
So yeah, definitely give Letterkenny a try. Any of you watching Dexter?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you think? What do you think? What do you think?
They answered some questions that I had because I was like, how the fuck did that kid? And yeah, so terrible to hear about Hannah. I will say that's a grim way to go. Granted, she was also a murderer, but still not pleasant. Not pleasant.
Okay, remind me, she was a murderer?
Yes, she was a killer because Dexter was going to murder her, and instead they fell in love. Well,
this was after his wife died.
Yvonne Strahovski from Chuck.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so Chuck was a show on NBC.
I didn't watch
it. Like a modern day update of The Greatest American Hero.
The last time I saw the last episode of Dexter was when it was on. I've started rewatching it. I'm up to season 4 right now.
That's probably the last time a lot of people saw the last episode of Dexter. No need to really revisit it, all things considered. But yes, she was a killer that he was kind of like, doing his whole hungry like the wolf thing on, and one thing led to another, and they kind of ended up together, and they fell in love, and they got married, and then he had with the 2 kids, Astrid and Cody. I think they actually go off to live with their grandparents, and it's just Dexter and Harrison with Hannah, and he leaves Harrison with Hannah to go off and start a new identity at the end of the series. And she takes Harrison to South America, Buenos Aires, and goes to raise him there. But we find out in this new show that, unfortunate things developed for Hannah just naturally. And Harrison found himself, becoming a little street tough. So he started to make his way to find Dexter, and he tracked him down to wherever the fuck it is Dexter lives now.
Yeah, it's so far it's pretty good. Steve, did you watch it?
No.
Oh, I thought you said you watched it.
No, I thought you were talking.
No. I thought you mentioned it in a chat like a couple weeks ago.
No.
Okay.
I have not.
Well, don't take Leo's word for it though. He is the one that keeps reminding us his brain is mush. So
yeah.
Let's remember that he's working with a little bit of tapioca right now.
I've been kind of busy with a game that everyone is shitting on, and I have no issues with it. Grand Theft Auto: The Definitive Trilogy Edition.
Oh, the claymation.
Fucking dick.
Yeah, dick. By the way,
that's the one that's bird's eye view, right?
No. So
what's that? What's that green blob? Oh, that's a chop shop. Ooh, a chop shop.
So Cyberpunk game?
I can make my red cap purple in there.
RW, there's 3 Grand Theft Auto games that were popular that were a long time ago.
Yeah.
And they
remastered
them.
Hey, on Vice City,
as someone who has never played them and only played 4 and 5, and these 3 games only came out when I was in school, and I wasn't allowed to play any Grand Theft Auto games. I wanted to try these, and I still don't understand why everyone is bitching and complaining about this, because I'm playing this for the first time in 20-something years, and I'm enjoying it.
And that's all that matters, seriously.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe it's just because they're comparing it to how they felt.
They're comparing the graphics. They're complaining about the glitches. They're complaining about the lack of songs in the soundtrack. They're complaining about different stuff. Just to give it a
people are going to complain, and like RW said, as long as you're enjoying it, that's all that matters.
And they might have had the rights to certain music then, but they can't maybe.
Oh, they usually they would now. They would make up music too. Like there was some funny shit in some of these Grand Theft Auto games. Like I still have a fucking song from one of them stuck in my head all the time. It's like turn on the radio, buzz buzz for the yayo. I'm like,
that's
about Coke. Yeah, I'm like what? Hey, can you still do the code on Vice City? No,
I don't understand what you're saying, Justin.
But does the code still work on Vice City?
Yeah, they all work.
What? That's cool, man. All right, I might have to look into this then.
What code?
It's like you empty out all your pockets and like spin around and hit a couple buttons, and then you get like all maxed out shit.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. And also the only thing that doesn't work, but data miners started finding out about it in the PC hacking. The hot coffee for San Andreas is not in the console versions, but data miners, if you're a data miner, you can find it in the PC version.
I understood about 75% of what you just said.
So there's in San Andreas there, when the game came out, there was and I'm sure I'm not going to go long in the tooth of this, but there was a hot coffee mod where it wasn't a mod, but it was a mode in the game where your character can pick up a person of interest, take him back to the house, and complete like a XXX mini game, as I should say.
So, person of interest in that's your code for prostitute here.
Yes.
Okay.
Trying to be a little PG here.
PG for what? Have you heard how many F-bombs I've dropped so far?
I know, even though we have the little disclaimer in the beginning.
Yeah.
But
mature audiences only.
I know, but the thing is, they like Jeremy said, oh wait, he had the disc. But basically, when they first came out with the hot coffee thing, they had to take the games back and then remove the hot coffee thing and then re-release it. So
it was a scantily clothed woman with lots of makeup on that was hanging out looking like she was really cold. So I gave her a ride to a warm place.
on my penis. Oh, that's where you fucked up.
Right, but it's an infamous thing because it was something that people found out about, and Rockstar was like, "Yep, we effed up. We need to pull this now."
Yeah. Whoops. yeah.
I still
programmed that entire segment by accident.
Yeah.
Whoopsie.
I'm still hoping Rare, Nintendo, the Bond company, and whoever else can figure out how to release GoldenEye again.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have been crossing their fingers for that.
But it's like it's like Nintendo and Rare, and then there's the James Bond company people, and then there's Pierce Brosnan. Like it's not just two things; it's like 7 things trying to, get the rights to it and whatever.
Well, that's why somebody's remastering it on the PC.
Really?
Yeah.
And there's rumors of it possibly coming to the Switch.
Yeah, I was going to say the Nintendo Switch Online for the Nintendo 64 games that they're going to be doing.
Did you guys hear that Nintendo they issued a statement with everyone's complaining about the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack?
Block again, Leo.
Yeah, block that thing.
A couple of them.
But anyway, apparently people were complaining about the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack and Nintendo and how the controls for the Joy-Con are similar to the are not compatible with the N64 games themselves. So Nintendo issued a statement saying, "You bought it, it's your problem, deal with it." Pretty much.
Wow.
Nice, real slick. That's very businesslike and professional.
So one time I put a game into my Nintendo, my Wii, and it wouldn't play. So I get on the phone with him, and I'm yelling at him, and I'm like, you know what? Why can't you make stuff that works, right? This is like in the 90s or whatever it was, and I'm freaking out. And like, have you tried this? Have you tried that? I'm like, I've tried everything. It's not working. Apparently, I never put I can't get the game. The game won't even come out now. It's jammed in there. Blah, 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 blah. Apparently, I put my Wii game into my DVD player, not into my Wii. So
wow. And the moral of the story, kids, is don't do drugs.
So I'm like pressing the Wii button, like, it won't come out. You're not listening to me.
You fucker.
So then I'm like, never mind. I'm gonna watch a movie. Oh, hey, there's the game.
So actually, speaking about watching movies, and the 90s and such too, or just nostalgia for nostalgia's sake, apparently they're going to be making a 5th Lethal Weapon movie, and Mel Gibson is being lined up to direct it.
Yeah, I mean, right before Dick Donner died, they had said that he was directing and Danny Glover and Mel Gibson were coming back for it. But then obviously Dick Donner died. So yeah, it is funny that Mel's going to direct, but
funny is certainly a word you could use to describe it.
Now, we talked about this on our podcast today. I don't think anyone else besides Mel Gibson can direct Lethal Weapon, because if it's other than Richard Donner, because obviously Richard Donner's passed away, but if you're looking at the core cast, anyone else that besides Richard Donner that's directed, obviously Danny Glover hasn't directed anything. Correct me if I'm wrong, people. But Mel Gibson, say what you will about him, he's has a catalog of movies. So if he's directing and starring, it's good for him, and it's a good way. And when he mentioned this in a London press event, I think a few days ago, he was a little emotional about it. So they're gonna have to do a tribute to Donner some way. Like, remember in the credits of Lethal Weapon 4, they had like that behind the scenes photos and a collage.
Yeah,
I mean, they probably won't do it that way, but they're gonna have to do something, because I know he has this thing on his shoulders now, where he had this friend for so many years that passed away, and now he has the mantle. And
we'll see how he does.
Whatever it is.
We'll see if it all comes to fruition.
I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, I'm as much of a hardcore Lethal Weapon fan as anyone else. You can see our podcast logo for a perfect example. But yeah, whether Mel Gibson directs it or not, say what you will about him, I would like to see it.
Unfortunately, they should have done it before now, obviously, but they can't. But it's sort of like
they were too old for this shit.
Right. It's like doing a freaking Indiana Jones movie 40 years later or whatever, like,
oh yeah.
No, but I'm just saying, obviously it's like you got, in Beverly Hills Cop 4 or whatever. It's like you do a couple of them and then you wait and then you go, hey, we should do another Beverly Hills Cop movie. No, leave it alone. And I'm not saying leave the Lethal Weapon 5 movie alone, because yes, I would be there to see it as well. But I think hold
on, RW, to counteract with your Beverly Hills Cop 4, Lethal Weapon 5, and all that. Say it with me now, people. It's because Hollywood can't come up with any original ideas.
Exactly. But I'm in agreement with you, Steve. Mel Gibson and Danny Glover worked with Richard Donner on 4 Lethal Weapon movies. They know how he directs. They know Mel Gibson knows what is expected when Richard Donner directed his movies. So I think you're absolutely right. Mel Gibson worked with him for 4 movies, knows how Richard Donner would direct this movie had he still been alive. So you're right. I think he is probably the only one in that whole thing. Unless there was an assistant director that worked on them as well, then it would go to him. But outside of that, you're right. Mel Gibson was there for 4 movies with the guy, and who better to do it than him? Unless, like I say, there was some assistant director that worked with him for the 4 movies as well. So I'm in agreement with you.
Yeah.
But,
all right. Well, that's going to be a thing. So
Well,
honestly, I have no dog in that fight whatsoever. Like, frankly, like they could not make a Lethal Weapon 5, and this is not a knock on the other movies. Like, I like the Lethal Weapon movies, but they could not make a part 5, and I'd be okay.
Right.
Like, my world would go on, and who knows? We might be better for it, but I guess we'll find out.
People were actually being smartasses online and saying,
what? No, never.
We got already a Lethal Weapon 5 already with Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah.
See?
No.
And did anybody ever watch the Lethal Weapon TV series?
Did anyone see Loaded Weapon 1? You want to go back? Yeah.
Loaded Weapon 1. There we go. That's the stuff.
But did anybody watch the TV series Lethal Weapon?
I
didn't either.
I don't fucking count it. No.
Right, exactly. And I mean, those people, I love the Wayans, but no, you're not Danny Glover, and whoever this other guy was, you're not Mel. Oh, somebody said get rid of Mel Gibson altogether.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not arguing with that either. I mean, I get it. Dudes said some pretty vile, fucked up, repugnant shit. So,
like I said before,
some people try to oh, he was drunk. Yeah, okay. And let me refer you to the fucking classic Latin phrase "in vino veritas." In wine there is truth. It's not like you fucking get inhibited when you drink. No. You let your guard down and you just let shit flow. So yeah, I don't get. What the fuck was that?
Sorry, an ad popped up.
Oh, okay.
I thought God was like, we're done here.
Music cues, huh? Jeez. Wrap it up.
No. I'm trying to find a list of keywords to block.
But I mean, let's
comments. They're getting crazy.
Let's compare Lethal Weapon to Die Hard. Supposedly, Die Hard 3 was written as a Lethal Weapon, but they passed on it. So they changed it to a Die Hard movie. I don't know if that's true, but
it is.
Okay. So the first 3 Die Hard movies I thought were good. The one I love Justin Long, but that just didn't seem like a Die Hard movie to me. And I haven't even watched the 5th one because I saw the preview and I'm like, isn't a Die Hard movie either.
Watch John McClane turn to Wile E. Coyote before your very eyes.
RW, do not watch the 5th one.
It's
a log of shit.
Watch it. That's what I'm saying.
Watch it.
Let's not make a Lethal Weapon 5 if it's going to be a Die Hard 4 or 5. Like, just let's not do it. So it has to be something that's going to be like, wow, I am so glad that they did this, as opposed to why is John McClane not John McClane anymore?
Listen, if they're going to make a Lethal Weapon 5, I just insist that Mel Gibson drop into his Australian accent in and out constantly throughout the entire thing, like he's done in every other fucking Lethal Weapon movie. Like, I've noticed that, like, even like later in his career, like when you get to like part 4, you would think like, oh, he's got a lock on this shit. You know what I mean? He's been speaking in an American accent on film for years. Nope. Especially the scene where they're down in the shooting range. Like, second he covers his fucking ears, man, game over. He can't hear himself. And he's like, yeah, that's right. We got to find where the bullets are coming from. I'm like, what the fuck? How did he he's apparently from Australia now, guys. It's fucking great. Watch it and pay attention. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. They go through bulletproof armor. It's fucking great. I just saw Joe Pesci. What the fuck? He's a post-COVID drive-through.
Talking about Joe Pesci's rant in the second one.
Let me tell you something. You got to wear a mask at the drive-thru, because if you don't wear a mask, they fuck you. If you don't wear a mask, oh my God.
Yeah, man. Seriously, the movie that we could all only dream of. Yeah. We'll fucking see.
Speaking of dreaming, would you guys pay $450 for this?
No. How big is it? That's my first question.
Let's go to the specifications.
Nope. 13 by 12 inches.
That's the packaging.
Oh, yeah. Fuck all that noise, Silent Bob.
What is it, a Lego turtle?
It is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimates Party Wagon vehicle.
$450. No fucking way.
Oh, it's from Super 7. Fuck them.
Yeah, I'm with Steve. Fuck them. I don't know much about them except for the fact that they're charging $449.99 for this, but fuck them indeed.
How about $6,000?
I mean, you're up in the ante. If I wasn't paying $450 for that, good God.
Good luck finding space next to all your porgs and baby Grogu's.
Good luck explaining spending $6,000 on that to your wife. That's what I say. Never mind where you're going to fit it. It's going to go right up your ass when she finds out. You're not going to have space for it anywhere else, believe me.
Well, I guess I could always sell this, right?
Yeah, you sell that, and you're only like $5,900 away.
Oh my God.
Let's see. Some new Spider-Man collectibles are coming out by Sideshow. Little $270 for Doctor Strange Spidey.
Zombie Hunter Spidey. He's wearing a cape, so that makes him a zombie hunter.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
There was something else. The Gotham Knights figures got announced also.
Ooh.
By McFarlane.
I like the Batgirl one. That's pretty cool. Nightwing looks dope. I don't really care for Robin's look there. And Red Hood is, he's fucking Red Hood. Wow, you really fucking thought outside of the box on that one, Toddy.
Jeez. And nothing new on HasLab.
Still going for the fucking target on. Oh no, they got all the shit they needed for that. $400 for a proton pack. If it doesn't actually shoot protons, then fuck that. I don't care.
Well, it doesn't come with a wand either.
What?
Wow.
Then what's the fucking point?
The wand is an extra $150.
Of course it is.
That is straight up watered down ketchup, gentlemen. Weak sauce.
It's
oh wow. Back in the 80s when G.I. Joe was big on every day at like 4:30 or whatever time it was on, I bought every freaking G.I. Joe tank figure and airplane and everything, man. I loved those things back in the day.
The one good thing I think Hasbro released about a month and a half ago was the Nerf gun that was like a replica of the M4A pulse rifle from Aliens.
Nice.
Oh yeah, that was cool. I saw that. That was dope for sure. G.I. Joe. I don't remember shit about G.I. Joe.
Just to respond to Justin, Tombstone's one of my favorite movies.
They do have a Black Series Rancor.
Ooh. So it's just
you have to paint it yourself.
So it's just an unpainted Rancor. That's what that is.
I don't know.
And it costs how much? $350. Man, everyone can get fucked. That is horrendous. $350. Oh, but the small guy comes in color. His fucking handler. Oh, maybe not.
Maybe it's a George Lucas.
That wasn't his handler. That was one of the pig dudes
version of the Rancor.
Yeah, maybe it's they're just showing it unpainted. Maybe it's the
model, like the prototype.
Yeah, the prototype, yeah.
Maybe or not. We'll just pull all the color out of it and call it Black Series. They'll pay through the nose for it. They're stupid geeks.
So if you guys order from Amazon, be careful, because recently I noticed that finally, after like 15 years, season 2 of The Fall Guy was available on DVD. And I just got it today.
Yeah, I can see in the lower right-hand corner of it, though, that it's a Region 2 disc.
Yeah, didn't know that. Popped it into my Xbox, and he goes, "This will not play." And I go, "Are you kidding me?" But I managed to figure out a way to actually, it says 12 on there.
Unless you go to Amazon and find a region-free player, then
you can... So I put it in my computer, and it somehow managed to play on my computer, but it wouldn't play on my Xbox. But yeah.
Yeah, I actually have a region-free Blu-ray player and a region-free DVD player. So
that's what I have too.
Yeah, and that's why the second you held it up, the very first thing I looked for was where the Region 2 sticker was. I'm always careful on Amazon. Fool me once.
Funny. Actually, now that I have the region free, I don't have to be careful.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
so buy willy nilly.
It was like 15 or more years ago that the first season came out, and they haven't had another one. So I see complete season 2. I'm like, hell yeah, get it before it disappears. And then I'm like, fucking A, seriously, Region 2.
Big fans of the Fall Guy over in the UK, man.
Yeah,
just can't get enough of.
Well, over there, they're just definitely not the kind to kiss and tell. That's for sure. But yeah, I'm like, son of a gun. But yes, retro. Again, one of my favorite shows. Most people like him as Steve Austin, but I thought he was.
That's the $6 million man for all of you youngins out there. Not Stone Cold from wrestling.
Right. It's funny.
Track suits running real fast and jumping up things while going. We can rebuild him.
I got his autograph through the mail through like his publicist or something like 20 something years ago, and on it he wrote 2RW, all the Lee Majors, right? So I met him at Super Mega Fest, and I go, hey, look,
I am here to collect on all the Lee Majors.
It says to Randy, all the Lee Majors, all the what? He goes, you can write whatever you want.
Like, I prefer if you did it. Just write best, dickhead.
Like, dumbass. So I just think that's a unique autograph to RW, all the Lee Majors. I didn't want to write best. I was tired. I wanted to go to sleep.
There's a writer for Mad Magazine, Dick DiBartolo, and he had a podcast for a while. And I listened to it when they were like just starting out, and he was giving away like autographed Mad magazines, like whatever came out. Nice. And I won like 4 of them. Wow. And he would autograph them. But he started doing shit like, hey, future eBay buyer or some shit like that. It was all goofy stuff, but yeah.
Mark Hamill does some really cool things when he signs people's cards and like trading cards or whatever. He always does some really witty thing, and I've always wanted to get a Mark Hamill signed item because he, very witty.
I met C. Robert Cargill, the screenwriter for Sinister and Doctor Strange, as well as Joe Hill, the author and
Stephen King's son,
also son of Stephen King. But I met the two of them. I was getting their autograph. I was alongside my buddy Alex DiVincenzo from BrokeHorrorFan.com, and they went to sign. He brought the limited edition Phase 1 set of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and wanted Cargill to sign it, even though Doctor Strange wasn't in it. He didn't care. He was like, just sign my Marvel thing. And he was like, oh, who do you want me to make this out to? And I jumped right in. I was like, oh, it's eBay, little E, big B, AY. And like Joe Hill kind of snickered, and Cargill was like, you think that's funny, but a lot of people do that. And I was like, no, that's exactly why I made the joke, man. But thanks.
Well, I told you the freaking Burt Reynolds story, right? Where Burt Reynolds was at Super Mega Fest, and a guy walked up to him with literally a stack of photos like this and said, Burt, I need you to sign these. And Burt picked him up and threw him at the guy and said, fuck off, and like wouldn't sign him because he knew the guy just wanted him signed so he could go to eBay. And Burt wasn't having any of that shit. Fuck like that. I was like, yeah, damn straight. That was the right thing to do. I don't give a shit. He's like, fuck you. I'm not signing these.
That was one of his last cons too.
Yeah, it was. And I didn't have a lot of money at that con at all. And I'm like, it's freaking Burt Reynolds. And not only is he, Smoking the Bandit or Cannonball Run, but I freaking love the Best Little Whorehouse in Texas and, a bunch of other stuff that Hooper and things that most people don't talk about. So I'm like, I got to do it. So I did the autograph and the photo op with him, and I was dressed as Roscoe, which was cool because he played Boss Hogg in the really bad movie. And so, 3 months later, he was gone. And I'm like, I am so glad that I did that or whatever. But when I met him, I walked up to his table and I kind of leaned in and I went, hey, Burt, I don't know if you know this or not, but you're freaking Burt Reynolds. And like the whole crowd behind me clapped or whatever. And he grabbed one of my hands with both of his hands. And he goes, thank you. But he was wicked cool. But yeah, I'm like, you're freaking Burt Reynolds. He was so frail though. Like you saw him.
Yeah, he
like,
was in a
he
wheelchair.
was like trying to get out of his chair, and I'm like, man, this isn't Burt Reynolds. Like,
damn,
I don't want to see my heroes like this.
I had no idea that sucks.
To be fair, I saw Motorhead in 2015, and it was 2 months before Lemmy passed away. And he, Lemmy was the front man for Motorhead, the bass player and all that stuff. And he sounded good, played good, but it was the last show. The one I saw was the last show he played for because his health went downhill real fast. And he died in December of 2015. And it was, I don't know what the hell happened. I don't remember what the hell happened, but, he put on one hell of a show. And it was just...
Wow, this has turned into a real uplifting episode.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
And then there was this one time that I went to my grandmother's house for Thanksgiving dinner.
He talked about Burt Reynolds, and you guys clap, and I talk about someone that
I didn't clap. He clapped. The guy telling the story clapped.
Whatever.
And I'm talking about the both of you. It's not directed at you. It's a theme that occurred. Half of us talked about dead people for 10 minutes. There's 4 of us here.
Brandon,
2 people on the bottom here. Like, let me tell you about this dead guy I met once. Oh, okay, cool. Here's a dead guy I saw once. Holy shit. Hallelujah. Where's the Tylenol?
So there was this one time I went to this con.
Christ on a cracker.
Hey, Leo, can you drag me to the top so now I'm on the top row telling this story?
No.
No, just not even entertaining it. No.
I was gonna add something.
Yeah, Justin, where'd you put that flute? The one time.
One time at band camp.
So we should wrap things up shortly. Anybody watching Acapulco?
What? Am I watching a city?
It's a new show
about cliff divers.
No. It's a Apple TV. It's another like good-hearted, Ted Lasso type of show.
Really?
Yes, really good.
I saw one, something on Apple TV Plus. It was really, really good. Rocky v. Drago, director's cut.
With 3 extra minutes?
No, 20 extra minutes.
Steve's gonna snap and kill us all. Like seriously, he's gonna track us all down.
Listen, can I be perfectly honest? First of all, they cut out the robot, right?
Yes, they did. And by the way, me and my co-host, we saw this, and it was. If you watch the original Rocky 4 in '86, and you saw how macho that movie was, and you watch this version that came out, and you saw it's more drama, like how Rocky 1 and 2 are more drama focused. This one is more drama focused.
So it's like an actual film as opposed to the fucking nationalistic piece of propaganda that Rocky 4 was, because I hate that fucking movie. I absolutely despise Rocky 4.
So
I would rather watch Rocky 5 than Rocky 4.
That's a low blow.
Yeah, that's how much I dislike Rocky 4. I don't like that movie. I like people in it. I don't like that movie.
But Jeremy, I want to see that new Outsiders cut too. It looks really, really good. But anyway, if you are interested in seeing Rocky 4,
is that why The Outsiders was up?
Yeah, it's on HBO Max today.
Okay. I was actually just gonna say that. Like, is there something going on? I had no idea about The Outsiders. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess Coppola sneaked in on all of us an extended edition of Outsiders, which is similar to everyone's doing the director's cut bandwagon. Like, obviously Stallone did the director's cut of Rocky 4. Coppola's he did a director's cut of Godfather 3, and now he did Outsiders today. Fuck, if Ayer does Suicide Squad, then everyone's gonna jump on the fucking bandwagon for
Pluther.
Oh God.
For the record, that's where I saw Rocky IV.
Okay.
Oh, it is. Oh, then I'll have to check. I
Yeah.
didn't realize.
That's where I saw it.
Okay.
I poked and prodded Leo for it.
Yeah. And it took a little while for it to come out. But real quick back to Acapulco, comedy show with heart, similar to Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a
I'll
lot
check
of
it out.
subtitles, because a lot of it's in Spanish, but
You
it's
say what? It takes place in Acapulco and it has subtitles because it's Spanish? How fucking dare they?
Now, speaking of
The
lighthearted,
nerve. The first thing I noticed about this show was the audacity.
Speaking of lighthearted and subtitles, has anybody else seen My Best Worst Adventure yet?
No.
not yet.
Yeah, that was, like I said, it was really, really quite a movie.
My Best Worst Adventure.
Yeah, we had the director on?
Director, writer, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, I have not seen it.
Yeah,
sorry.
so it's a movie filmed in Thailand, and the two main characters are kids, and neither one of them speak, and everybody else who speaks is speaking in Thai, and so it's subtitled. But you literally could probably shut the sound off altogether and just figure the movie out by seeing what's going on, because it's done so well that you don't really need to read or have any kind of dialogue anyways. So it's like it's not a silent film, but technically it is. But it's such a wonderful movie.
Oh, I'll queue it up.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out too.
Well, we should wrap things up. Last thing I'm going to ask is, did everybody watch Shang-Chi?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw it in the fucking movie theater.
I saw it on Pluther.
It's also on Disney Plus for
Yes.
anybody that has a subscription.
Yes.
I like
I
pronouncing
love that
words in an overly rotten manner.
and they're not charging $29 for it. They just released it.
No, it's just a movie that you get to see with your old subscription there, so that's fun.
Or if you want to be a new subscriber, they're going to charge you the original. No,
it's
they're gonna charge
$1
you
for the first month.
Yeah, $1.99 for the first month.
That's all right. I'm covered. I actually took advantage of their deal when they were starting up Disney Plus, and I paid for 3 years right up front. So I got 3 full years of Disney Plus for $140.
Nice. Wow. I know we're wrapping up, but I did not see Shang-Chi, or however you say it. Shang-Chi, but I want to see it. But I did watch Red Notice. I thought that was
I know, I gotta see that, dude.
I thought it was hilarious. And then we watched one on Netflix, which at the time was the number 2. It's called Love Hard, which is about this girl who gets catfished or whatever, but it's pretty funny. It's a pretty good movie. And then we watched the new Home Sweet Home Alone.
Oh, I want to see that.
I got to see that.
And
too.
I didn't want to see any more Home Alone movies, because after Home Alone 2 and they did the 3 and 4 with that other kid, I just thought they were horrible. But this one I think it's pretty good. They use some old tricks again, but it's a different premise, and I thought it was pretty funny, so I laughed a couple times. But Red Notice was awesome, and this Love Hard, which is on Netflix.
Yeah, Love Hard. That has is it Jimmy Yang in it? He's a stand-up comedian. He was in Silicon Valley.
Oh yeah, in Love Hard, you mean?
Yeah, in Love Hard.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's his name. Yeah,
he's a funny guy. Like his stand-up is fucking hysterical. So.
But it was a good.
He did another comedy. It wasn't really a comedy. It was like a downer about a comedian trying to break out.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it. But if you search for him on IMDb,
right,
Jimmy Yang.
Yeah, Jimmy Yang. I think it was his first movie, but it was just, just the trials of a comedian. Somebody working a full-time job and trying to be a comedian as well.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. It was a really good movie.
But yeah, Red Notice, like if you haven't seen it, it literally starts out and then just it starts out boom, and then it really never stops. So whoever wrote and directed it, like it's not one of these. How you watch a movie and you're like, okay, give me something. It starts out and it never really it just keeps fast paced or whatever. That was good. Red Notice. Yeah.
Very cool. Last thing I'll say is, one of our friends loves shark movies.
Yes.
So
I'm well aware of how much this friend loves shark movies.
So whenever I see a new one, I try to add it to Pluther, and there's a new one this week. Noah's Shark.
Oh,
fucking.
The cover is Noah's Ark with like elephants and giraffes that fallen off, and this great white like going after him.
Why didn't they just go balls to the wall and make it a fucking megalodon?
It might be. It looked pretty big.
Yeah, but Noah's Megalodon doesn't have quite the same ring to it.
Yeah.
Megalodon's still a shark. It works. It's technically correct, which is the best kind of correct.
So look for it soon on Pluther.
Oh my God.
Noah's Shark.
Okay, so I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. Show notes up above, down below. You know the routine. Definitely follow these awesome people. Head on over to the Dorkening. Go follow us everywhere. Speaking of that, RW, where do you like people interacting with you?
Maybe just go here at the bottom of the page is all the places that you can find me. So made it easy for you.
Cool beans. It's also in the show notes if you just want to clicky. Steve, where can people clicky?
People can clicky. There's links up in the show notes below or above, but we have two shows, Super Rich Throwback Views, the Audio Files, and CSI the Vegas Files. Both shows come out. One of them comes out every Monday, one comes out every Friday. And you can follow our show and all that stuff. There's a link and Patreon and all that stuff up above or down below. And I'm here every Wednesday. So
cool beans.
Where I can get ganged up on every week.
We love you, Steve. We're just joking around. I hit the wrong button.
Wow, dude.
Yeah. Brandon.
And instead of Brandon saying anything, we're kicking his ass out.
Where can people clucky?
Come on over to the Facebook group Powers Combined. We're just a bunch of geeks that get around and hang out, share info and laughs. Number one rule is don't be a jerk. You will be booted immediately. You can follow me on Twitter at Brandon's Powers and Instagram at This Brandon Has Powers. You can find me every week here, Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the Dorkening.
Cool beans. Y'all have a good night. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.